And a good midday Wednesday to everyone. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. A couple big systems. One of them is working in right now across the Great Lakes. It had been producing quite a bit of nasty weather. We have still another one that's going to be tracking in, and this is the one that's going to get us on Friday. This one's mostly tracking to our north, and we're in the mild sector, of course, the warm sector with this system. So what's going to end up happening is we have a few sprinkles that kind of rolled on through. However, we have very warm temperatures just upstream and also some periods of sunshine interspersed between a little bits and pieces of cloud cover. There is some gusty channeling winds with this, as the gradients are a little bit tight, but these are pretty limited, and in terms of impacts, probably not a whole lot. We have another opportunity for westerly winds. Once the system moves up north of us, it's going to swing in a change into the winds from the southwest to west, and that's going to move in, it looks like, tonight, and could affect some parts of the central Green Mountains more localized, and areas around, I would say, Washington County, mainly southern Washington, a little bit of Orange, and into Windsor County, could be affected by some downsloping winds. Again, these are very marginal and fairly limited, as indicated by the latest computer modeling. But it's there. And then a third burst, that's after this system here that's been dropping a lot of snow, and you can see some pretty good winds over the Great Basin region, parts of Utah. This system will be a little bit more organized, and it will swing in a cold front. That'll take place on Friday, and that's going to lower the temperature, and we're going to see some pretty cold weather begin to drive into the region for one day, and that's going to be all Saturday. So Saturday morning, we have Arctic chill as well in the forecast for temperatures that could dip a little bit below zero. Nothing like what we saw a couple weeks ago, however. But note, we have warm air in the east, and it's largely due to a ridge of higher pressure in the southeast United States. And then we have colder air dropping in from Canada and across the west coast. This has been the pattern pretty much all winter long for the winter of 2022-2023 so far. We have the European on the left-hand side. We have the GFS ensemble on the right. We have this weather system is the one that's tracking, and this is valid earlier this morning at about 7 o'clock. That's 10, that's 2 o'clock this afternoon. And you can see fairly limited little bits and precip, nothing real major here, very scattered light rain shower activity. And that moves on out. We dry things out for Thursday. However, we're going to catch a little piece of this rain shower activity. It looks like that's going to arrive basically late in the day, right there. It looks like southern Vermont. This is valid at 7 o'clock, and this is valid at 4 o'clock. So in that 3-hour time frame, you're looking at a little bit of precipitation, just catching the southernmost part of Vermont, and then eventually that's going to overspread the region later overnight tonight as the area of low pressure pushes on in. But note, the northern areas are much more expansive in terms of precipitation, and we do have some wintry mix right here. That's some sleet, freezing rain, some snow. This is going to be tracking in eventually on the backside of this departing area of low pressure. 995 hectopascals, 994, so deepening slightly, intensifying just a little bit. And we're going to see some mixed precipitation types work into the Champlain Valley in the morning hours. That's going to affect travel. And then on the backside, we have that blast of wind with the actual frontal system that moves through. So that taking place in the morning into the early afternoon, and lingering snow showers and flurries for a time, and then things clear on out. We have, note, the positive tilt to these ridges of higher pressure and areas of low pressure, and that's been the case all winter long. If we had negative tilt, we would be having a lot of coastal lows. We're not really seeing that, and the reason for that is that upper level ridge of higher pressure off the southeast United States has been basically one of the deals here with the reoccurring La Niñas we've seen for the last 3 years. So that positive tilt doesn't allow for that. It gives us mixed precipitation events or cold Arctic outbreaks with very little in the way of precip, and that's going to be the case. So the main utility issues are really front-loaded this week. Then we get into drier conditions over this coming weekend. A little bit of a shortwave trough tries to make it in here and basically struggles and dies out. The GFS ensemble has been indicating it's much more broader. A little bit of snow shower or flurry action right along the border, but the European, which I feel is much more highly skilled, is showing this next system to kind of move on through and then sort of redevelop in some lifting mechanisms just out ahead of what will be a cold front. So this will be along about Monday, the last day of the period. Later in the afternoon, on Monday afternoon, we're looking at some rain showers mixing with some wet snow showers. Now, beyond the period, however, this is when we're looking at a change in the pattern. There's much colder air. The polar vortex is becoming disrupted, and it's going to drop some Arctic air. Not as serious as what we saw a couple weeks ago, but needless to say, watch what happens with this jet stream energy in the colder air. We finally are going to get something that looks a little bit more normal, you might say, and that is a nor'easter potentially developing off the coast. Still does not look like a Miller A. It's more of a late development. So Miller B type, 985 hectopascals, eventually at 971 bomb. This moves off the coast of Maine toward Nova Scotia. That's fairly significant, decent lifting with this system, and this could be something that delivers a lot of snow. It's something way, way out there. We're talking really along around the 23rd of February. And then once that system moves on by, we're going to be in some Arctic air for some time with maybe some setups where we might actually see another one of these, but stay tuned on that. Looking at the GFS ensemble centered on the Montpelier grid, 3-hourly QPF looks like this. This is our main system that's going to be arriving on Friday. Then we dry out over this coming weekend, and then here's Monday, and then beyond, a system that could be a lot more dramatic, but it's not here yet. In terms of precipitation type, we're going to be seeing primarily rainfall, a little bit of a mix on the backside of that system. That's as that cold front moves on through, it delivers a mixed, wintry mix precipitation types, primarily probably more snow than sleet, and a little bit of freezing rain as well. So dicey travel conditions definitely for Friday morning, and then that basically tapers off as some wet snow showers or snow shower activity, and then we clear things out, get really cold, and so on and so forth. Showing the 2 meter temperature, we'll do the 850 hectopascal temperatures. You can see that sharp drop in temperature, pretty cold conditions aloft, and then we moderate the temperature yet again. Precipitation through this outlook period ending on Monday, Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning, is really pretty much near normal to a little bit below normal. Near normal, especially near the Canadian border, slightly below normal further off to the south, but not too far off. This is a period, by the way, climatologically, we don't really see a whole lot in the way of precip. Warm anomalies on the eastern side of North America, cold anomalies on the western and northern side of North America, no doubt about it, and there's going to be more that's going to be fluxing in as it looks right now. And that said, over the next 5 days, the meteorological output statistics for the next max temperatures for the next 5 days, the anomaly is running about 9 degrees above normal. That's 6 degrees above normal. Most of the cold is in the west. That's going to make some inroads. Let's see what happens 3 days later. Not quite, but running again about 9 degrees, 6 degrees a little further off. It looks like 6 to 9 degrees in that general area. And we are seeing some pretty good wind gusts across mainly the Champlain Valley, especially northern areas, and these strongest winds. And we'll see a little bit more of that tonight, as well as on a little burst of wind with the passage of that cold front on Friday morning. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.